We're back at the WagerTalk studios talking week one exciting games. This Miami LSU game already has me intrigued. Neutral field, Cowboys Stadium, Canes -3, guys. I see this and I'm going, wait, are the books down on the Tigers this year? I was at the Miami Notre Dame game last November, and all of a sudden Miami stock went sky high. Are the books thinking this Canes team's going to be better than I'm thinking? Brian, I'm going to kick it to you first.
Yeah, they're one of the teams I think a lot of people are going to be looking to want to bet on. LSU, on the other hand, is a team that looks to be down this year. LSU 41-6 in non-conference games during the regular season the last decade, but only 6-3 of the past 2 seasons. Orgeron's a very good players coach, but he's not an X and O's guy, and a lot of people are down on LSU because of that. That's
interesting. Ralph, your thoughts on this matchup? I like the neutral field concept. I think LSU is a good team, but I got to agree with Brian here. I'm still not sold that this Canes team is going to be as good as everybody thinks they are.
You know, the line is a little inflated. Why? Because we have Miami, the best they've done in the ACC. They've been in the ACC since 2004. Last year was the first time they got to 10 wins. Mark Richt got him to uncharted territory. And then you look at LSU, and everyone talks about LSU being down so much. This team has still won 8 or more games for 17 straight seasons. That's the second longest streak in the NCAA behind Oklahoma, who has it for 18 years. But, you know, I look at this game, and I look at Miami, and I look at their defense. Of course, they had the turnover chain last year. They're plus double-digit turnovers each of the last 2 years. They led the nation in sacks with 44. On the flip side, LSU, you're going to have a new starting quarterback that's never made a start. They're very high on Joe Burrow, but being an Ohio State fan, I'll tell you what, he wasn't impressive in the spring game. He wasn't impressive in the fall practices. Just because you get an Ohio State transfer doesn't automatically mean that your problems are solved at quarterback. So for me, I mean, even though you're probably laying a point or two more than you should because of the situation of Miami finishing the way they did, I would have to side with Miami and that defense against a very inexperienced quarterback.
You talked about LSU, and LSU is returning just 10 starters for the second straight year. And they lost their top quarterback, their top 4 running backs, the top 3 receivers. And the one thing you've got about LSU is they're a physical football team. They play in the SEC, and over the last 7 seasons, they're plus 56 in turnovers without any season being negative on turnovers. So if you'd like to play underdogs, you've got a team that doesn't turn the ball over. The problem is you've got this Miami team who forced a lot of turnovers last year and a lot of sacks last year. And that's their big strong point, is going up against this LSU team with inexperience along the key positions. And even though it may look like that Miami's a little bit inflated, I think Miami's probably the best side on here. If you can get it for 3 or less, I think Miami's ready to go here.
Well, it looks like we got a consensus play here on Miami.
Brian, one more point with you with Miami. You talked about 10 returning starters back. That can go either way. But 10 returning starters back with only 64% Letterman, they are last or second last in the country as far as returning experience goes. So playing that marquee game in a marquee environment against a marquee team with that little inexperience is tough.
And having it 2 years in a row was the point, where last year they didn't have a lot of experience coming back either.
Great stuff from Brian Leonard and Ralph Michaels. Guys, it's Manic Mondays at WagerTalk. All Monday daily packages for only $9. That includes any 5% plays. As always, if you like these videos, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and be sure to share it with all your friends.